Good afternoon, everyone. I'd like to call this full Board of Commissioners meeting to order Wednesday, March 13th at 3 p.m. Please rise for the national anthem. Pledge of allegiance. Sing the national anthem, then do it. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Extra patriotic today. Item number 3, invocation by Commissioner Kleinfeld.
Thank you, Chair. In honor of St. Patrick's Day, I will just say, may the road rise to meet you, may the wind be always at your back, may the rain fall soft upon your fields, the sun shine warm upon your face, and until we meet again, may God hold, may God hold you in the palm of his hand. Thank you.
Mr. Chairman,
Yes,
I would
sir.
like to take a minute of silence in remembrance of Sam Petito, who's a longtime member of the board, died yesterday.
Yes, sir.
Thank you.
Thank you. Thank you, Commissioner, for bringing that up.
Sam Petito was a great man from the south end of the county, and when I was a new commissioner on the board, being cocky as I was, I said, you got this pension stuff you wanted me to sign up for to take deductions out of my check. I go, I don't need to do this. I'm not going to be around here very long. He goes, you might want to do that, young man. You never know what happens. Look, I'm still here after all these years, and he was really a mentor to me, and he was very active with MAC and got me involved in the whole committee structure at MAC, and I was very involved in many of the committee structures there for some time. And it got me to learn county government, being involved with MAC and attending all the MAC conferences as a commissioner, and it was very helpful. But he was a mentor to me early on, and he was a good man. He had sound judgment, and I listened to him, and he was a calm voice among many people at the time. There was 25 commissioners at the time, and I was only one of a handful of Republicans, so they didn't really listen to me much anyway. And plus, I was new, so I had two things strikes going against me to begin with. But he listened to me, and he took me under his wing, and he was a good man, and he definitely led a good life as far as I know, but he was definitely a good influence to me and good asset to this board, and he's one of the people of this board you look back and say, those are good men, and he was one of them. Thank you.
Thank you, Commissioner. Yes. Item number 4, adoption of the agenda. Need a motion to adopt. Commissioner Romano, supported by Commissioner Sauger. Please vote. Motion passes. Approval of minutes, item number 5. Approval of minutes dated February 21st, 2019. I need a motion to approve. Commissioner Hall, supported by Commissioner Drollet. Please vote. Not today. Motion passes 13-0. Public participation. Any members of the public wishing to speak? You have 5 minutes. Any members of the public wishing to speak? Come up, give us your name. You have 5 minutes relating to items on the agenda. Oh, I'm sorry, Mr. Fantuzzi, can you push the button on the base of that, please? There, thank you.
Can you hear me?
Yes.
Okay. Hi, my name is Ryan Fantuzzi. I have applied for a position on the Community Mental Health Board. I respect the board's consideration. Thank you for its consideration. And regardless of the decision, I'm humbled by the possibility of the opportunity to sit on the board. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other members of the public wishing to speak? I see one. Please come up and introduce yourself. Give us your address. And
Hi, my name is Lori Phillips, 45315 Plum Grove, Macomb, Michigan. I just want to thank the Macomb County Board of Commissioners. 1 year ago, you gave me the opportunity to serve on the Community Mental Health Board. After 1 year, I'm still learning and still trying to understand the operations. I still have a lot to take in. As I told you a year ago, my first job is as a mom of a 32-year-old son with autism and other medical issues, who has received services since he was 9 years old from Community Mental Health. I worked for the Macomb Intermediate School District for over 24 years. I have committed my life to the people that have developmental disabilities population. I have an excellent attendance records at all meetings that have been required by the position you appointed me to have. I take this appointment very seriously. I hope the appointments you make today also look at the accomplishments of those who have served want to serve, and who bring to the table what is best for the future of community mental health in Macomb County and those serviced by Macomb Community Mental Health. Thank you.
Thank you. Any other members of the public wishing to speak? Any other members of the public wishing to speak? Third and final time, seeing none, we'll close public participation. Item number 7, correspondence from the Office of County Executive. We have a memo that was dated the 25th of February 2019 regarding the forfeiture fund. We need a motion to receive and file. Commissioner Hall, supported by Commissioner Kraft. Discussion, please vote. Motion passes 12-0. Item number 8, presentations. Introduction of the new Director of Community Mental Health, Dave Pancote. Please help me with the last name.
It's Pancotai,
Pancotai, I knew it, thank you.
or just Dave is fine.
Well, Dave, welcome. Thank you for coming. The floor is yours.
Well, thank you for the invitation today, and thank you to two of my current board members, Lori, Kathy Vosberg and Lori, who just spoke, and my potential new board members. We will be providing a thorough orientation to our new board members to try to explain the complicated system that Lori mentioned, and current board members will be invited as well. I'm here to answer any questions. I have been in this position since December 17th, and I overlapped with John Kinch, the former director, until he retired on January the 4th. Since that time, I have visited all 7 locations. I have had group meetings with the staff members, and I've taken careful notes on all of that feedback. I've met with our current board members, as well as members of the community and advocacy groups, and I'm putting together a detailed report for the Community Mental Health Board members that'll be due at the end of this month. There's a lot going on at the state level, so I've been participating in those meetings as well. But with all that being said, I'm open to any questions, comments? Oh, this is going much better than I am. Thank you very much.
Commissioner Carabelli.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. In that detailed report for your board members, this can consist of your operations and is it your financial status?
Yeah, it'll be operations, finance, a plan for the future. There are some additional changes. A lot of really difficult decisions were made and actions took place before I came on. And I was chatting with Bob just before this meeting. When I was applying for this position, I was fairly well aware of the financial situation of the Community Mental Health Agency. What I did not know was what steps had been taken to try to correct that until I started. When I started, I was very relieved. They had taken significant actions, very difficult actions that impacted the individuals here in Macomb County. It got us to a much better position and it really a good hard look at our internal operations. With my experience over the last 20 years, I've come in and evaluated again kind of what they've done, what can be done, and there's a couple of significant areas I think that will still help us correct our position and get us on a much better footing going forward.
Thank you. With that said, I respectfully ask that you provide a copy of that report to the Board of Commissioners.
Sure.
And if you could have your board chair personally hand deliver it. No, I'm just kidding, Kathy. But if that could be...
Yeah, I can't guarantee that.
No, but if that could be delivered to the Board Commissioner's office, we would appreciate that as well.
Happy to.
Is that acceptable?
Yes.
Thank you.
Actually, if you don't mind, maybe in the proper committee, if you wouldn't mind coming and giving a little report as to something what we just talked about before on where we're going, where you see it going, and some of the things, problems that you might have come across, and,
Right.
but you're better served at a committee meeting if you wouldn't mind.
I will do that.
Great.
Very nice meeting, everybody.
Oh, I have another commissioner on board. Commissioner Leonetti, you're taking up both times, all right.
All right, thank you, Mr. Chair. Good to see you. Welcome aboard.
Thank you.
You noted that there's a couple more changes that you think you can implement here. How soon, I guess is my question.
Right. Well, faster than I was planning initially. I was taking I had kind of planned out my first 100 days, and because of the actions that had been taken, I thought I had a little breathing room. And so I was doing this report and then including the action steps going forward. I do not have the time anymore, the gift of time in this situation. So we're going to have to fast forward some of those, which will make some of the actions a little bit more difficult, but they're still needed to be done. So in the next 30, 60 days, this will be rolled out and implemented. But
I didn't think you had much time, so I just wanted to
no,
hear from you.
I
Yeah.
thought I had a little 30, 60, but we're going to start implementing them in the very near future.
Okay, all right, thank you, Mr. Chair.
Thank you, and Dave, thanks for
Thank
coming
you.
before us, and we'll talk to you soon.
Thank you.
Thank you. All right, item number 9, appointments to the Community Mental Health Board. So we have 4 vacancies for 3-year terms, and we
do you
have
want-
2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Yes, sir.
Are we going to vote to receive and file this?
Oh, I'm sorry, yes, let's vote to receive and file. Let's make a motion. Would you like to make that motion, Commissioner? Sure. All right, and then we'll support it by Commissioner Drolet. All right. Motion is received and filed. Now we'll go to 9, appointments, Community Mental Health Board. We have 4 vacancies. We have 7 applicants. I have a chart here in alphabetical order. If you would go through, Crystal is going to mark the number down and give us your top 4 choices. Then we'll tally them up and move forward from there. So Commissioner Brown.
Thank you. Ryan Fantuzzi and Brian Zajac. Period.
Just 2?
Two.
All right. Commissioner Carabelli.
Fantuzzi, Zajac, Nagy, and Bush.
I'm just going to wait and make sure Crystal gets this. Okay, Commissioner Drolet.
Nagy, Burke, Bush, and Fantuzzi.
Thank you. Commissioner Duje.
Excuse me, Nagy, Burke, Fantuzzi, and Zajac.
Thank you. Commissioner Haw.
Burke, Bush, Fantuzzi, and Freeze.
All right, Commissioner Kleinfeld.
Burke, Bush, Fantuzzi, and Freers.
Good. Thank you. Commissioner Kraft.
Thank you, Mr. Chair. Burke, Bush, Fantuzzi, and Nagy.
Thank you. Commissioner Leonetti.
Burke, Bush, Fantuzzi, and Freers.
Thank you. Commissioner Lucido.
Nagy, Bush, Fantuzzi, and Freers.
Good. Commissioner Myjak's absent. Commissioner Romano.
Burke, Bush, Fantuzzi, and Freers.
Thank you. Commissioner Sauger.
Burke, Bush, Fantuzzi, and Freeze. And get Kathy Bosberg on there too.
All right, just for the heck of it. My votes are for Burke, Bush, Cascio, and Fantuzzi. Give us just a minute.
One for Bush.
Okay, so 3 of the members got majority votes, Mr. Fantuzzi, Ms. Bush, and Ms. Burke. So we need one more, so we will start again. Maybe we'll go in reverse order.
Are we going to take like the
Well,
next step or just out of?
no, the next ones will be wide open for a vote. So cross those off your list.
Which one's we crossing off again?
Bush, Burke, and Fantuzzi.
Got it.
So we'll cross them off, and then the top vote getter right here will be, if we get a majority, will be the 4th member. So we'll go in reverse order. For Smith, I will do Cascio. Commissioner Sauger.
I'll go with Frears.
Commissioner Romano.
Zajac.
Commissioner Lucido.
Freers.
Commissioner Leonetti.
Freers.
Commissioner Kraft.
Nagy.
Commissioner Kleinfeld.
Freers.
Commissioner Hall. Commissioner Duge. Commissioner Drollet.
Nagy.
Commissioner Carabelli. Commissioner Brown.
Say, Jack.
Do we have 7?
Sorry, let you on the rattle. Didn't get it. No, we got 2 votes.
Well, ladies and gentlemen, we have 2 majorities. We have a 5 and a 4, then a 2 and a 1. So I would be happy with taking the 2 and the 1 out of the mix, if everybody's okay with that, and we can go with we can go with who? Freers and Nagy. So between those 2, Commissioner Brown.
Nagy.
Commissioner Carabelli.
Nagy.
Commissioner Drollet.
Nagy.
Commissioner Duge.
Nagy.
Commissioner Haw. Commissioner Kleinfeld.
Freers.
Commissioner Kraft.
Nagy.
Commissioner Leonetti.
Freers.
Commissioner Lucido. Commissioner Romano.
Frears.
Commissioner Sauger.
Frears.
Commissioner Smith. Freers.
That's it.
Oswald Lanswell.
That's the last.
Oh, good people, good group.
So Commissioner, I'm sorry, Ms. Freers is our 4th member. So thank you to Mr. Fantuzzi. What's that?
Thank you.
Yes, so the new board members will be Megan Burke, Linda Bush, who is a returning board member, Ryan Fantuzzi, and Dana Freers. And I'm going to need a
Chair?
motion for
I was just going to make a motion to appoint him,
to
yeah.
appoint those, and supported by, well, made by Carabelli, supported by Kleinfeld. Please vote. Motion passes 12-0. Congratulations to you, Mr. Fantuzzi. I know that you're here. And Miss, oh, Freers? Oh, I'm sorry. Miss. Thank you. And thank you for applying. Like I said yesterday, this was a stacked field, and I commend you for making it through it. This was a tough decision on our part because there was a lot of very good candidates, and I'm happy to see that with our community mental health. So thank you. Item number 10, department recommendations. This item A was waived from Public and Safety Committee to here. So budget amendment for capital improvement fund jail kitchen kettle replacements. Captain Zimmy?
Good afternoon.
Good afternoon.
The process went through the bypass exemption. Just to recap, the kettles were purchased in 2010 with a life expectancy to 8 to 9 years. We've had 3 fail in 2018. The 4th one has been repaired multiple times and is deemed to be suggested to be replaced as well. So I come before the board to request that we replace the 4 dysfunctional kettles to maintain the proper process and delivery of food service to the inmates.
Thank you. Commissioner Carabelli?
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. Going back off of memory, we all know that's not well. I thought one of our vendors, when we had to redo the kitchen a few years ago because of the mold issue, that they supplied the equipment as part of their contract. Am I mistaken on that?
No, kettles were purchased in 10. There was one that was replaced under warranty in 14. So could have been other equipment, but the kettles themselves were a 10 purchase. So.
Okay, all right, thank you.
Commissioner Doucet.
Thank you, Mr. Chairman. I remember when we were redoing the kitchen, and we did replace the kettles, but we had a lot bigger. These were a lot bigger. The capacity was bigger, if I'm not mistaken. I know there was a problem with the drains originally, that we went from 4-inch to 8-inch or something to that effect, because we had to redo the whole kitchen. But it might be surprising, but you have to figure that those things are being used constantly. Hopefully, the new ones will last a little longer, but we shall see. If anything, I'll make a motion to approve this, Mr. Chair.
All right, so just to be clear, Captain Zimmy mentioned something about the bypass process, and I know you're not familiar with it, but
I
it
am not.
bypassed committee to come here. So we didn't do the bypass process like normal on it, so we do have to vote on it. So I have a motion for Commissioner Doucet to approve the budget amendment for the Sheriff Department in the amount of $99,580.
Question?
Oh, I'm sorry. The question has been called, he has a question.
I have a question.
Yes.
No, I have a question.
You weren't on there when I started talking.
I'm
Go
sorry.
ahead.
Cat,
Yeah,
how
I
big
got
are
a
these
second
kettles?
by
Can you give me
Carabelli, so we
I
can
mean, I'm looking at
discuss.
a kettle for $30,000. Are we talking about a kettle? Are we talking about a kettle? What are we talking about here? Just a ball, I don't need.
They're large. They're big kettles.
They're about that big.
Correct.
$30,000 worth.
Yes.
They cook
And actually,
food fast.
those, we went to the bid process, and the other two bids were
I see them.
substantially more, reasonably more, I should say, 10%, maybe 12% more.
I was just inquisitive as to the actual size of the kettles themselves.
I mean, I could look up the specs.
No, that's fine.
But they're big.
That's good. Okay, thank you, that's all I have,
You're
Chair.
welcome.
Thank you.
Thank you. So we have a motion to approve this amendment. No other speakers, please vote on 10A. Motion passes 12-0. Item 10B is, I need a motion to purchase the Stafford Smith equipment for the replacement kettles. Commissioner Romano, supported by Commissioner Hawk. I don't believe there's any discussion to be had on this. I don't see any, so please vote. Motion passes 12-0. Item 11, Government Oversight Committee recommendations. Anybody like to make a motion in their entirety? A and B? Commissioner Commissioner Leonetti, you're sitting in the wrong spot. Supported by Commissioner Lucido.
Can't see that far.
Any more discussion on these items? Please vote.
No. Thanks, like 'em.
Motion passes 12-0. Item 12, Health and Human Services Committee recommendations. I have a motion to move in their entirety by Commissioner Drollet, supported by Commissioner Lucido. Any discussion on this? Give me a nod, otherwise please vote. Motion passes 12-0. Item number 13, Internal Services Committee recommendations. We need a motion. Anybody wishing to? Commissioner Drollet, supported by Commissioner Kraft. Any discussion on these items? Seeing none, please vote. Item passes 12-0. Item 14, Public Services Committee recommendation. Any motions out there, or do we start with A? All right, Commissioner Drollet, supported by Commissioner Haw, to move them in their entirety. Seeing no request for discussion, please vote. Item passes 12-0. Item 15, Records and Public Safety Committee recommendations. Anybody would like to make a motion on A or all of them? C through G I have. Do I have support for a motion to approve C through G? Commissioner Leonetti. Any discussion on C through G? Seeing none, please vote. Motion passes 12-0. Item 15A. Need a motion to approve 15A. Commissioner Haw? A and B. Okay, Commissioner Duje supports A and B. Commissioner Haw makes that motion. Any comments on these, or are we just looking for a no vote to pass case forward? Okay. Yep. Thank you. Please vote. There you go.
Bring it up. There you go.
I voted yes.
All right. So we had
Screen
11.
clear.
Motion passes 11-1 with Commissioner Drollet voting no. Item number 16, correspondence. County news release, Macomb County launches a new website to improve access to physical activities for residents. Anybody like to move one or both of these?
Both.
Commissioner Romano proposes A and B, supported by Commissioner Sauger. Please vote. Motion passes 12-0. Any commissioners having any new business? Commissioner Kleinfeld, I saw your arm first. Come back to you.
Thank you, Chair. Every other year, MAC has always had their fall conference on Mackinac Island. And so this year, they're having it at the Traverse Hotel. So those of you that go to Mackinac Island to see me sworn in as president will wonder why I'm not there. That's why. So just wanted to let you guys know that. Thank you.
That saved us a lot of miles. Commissioner Kraft?
Thank you, Mr. Chair. I just wanted to briefly congratulate Romeo Weems from New Haven. He was named Mr. Basketball 2019, and he's the first ever from Macomb County. Thank you, Mr. Chair.
Fantastic. Speaking of basketball, Commissioner Sauger?
Yes, they lost in the last one, but they had one heck of a run.
Fantastic.
And my granddaughter had a great year, and now I got to go to Central and watch her play.
What was the total points scored?
She only got 7.
No, total in her career.
Oh, she's got almost 1,600. Yeah.
Great. Any other new business? Commissioner Brown?
I want to report to the board, I was at a conference last week, it was an Entrust Global Investment Summit. As some of you may know, the county has several pension funds that were responsible. The Maine County Employee Pension Fund, which has got about $1 billion in assets under management. That's and there's also a sub-fund, a Macomb Medical Retirees Trust Fund, and that's about $255 million that I serve on, and Commissioner Hall has joined us on that board this year. Entrust is one of the fund managers that we have, and we have about $11 million invested with them between two funds. And every year they sponsor a day and a half conference in New York where they bring 30 of the top investment managers from across the country, or the world for that matter, international investments, to one stage for a review of the markets in their particular segments. It's very informational. And beyond that, prior to that conference starting, the members from the pension fund that went visited 2 fund managers. One was with the one was with Edgewood. We have and Lyrical. Lyrical is a large cap value that we have $10 million invested in the retiree health account, and the other one was Edgewood, and we have about $28 million invested with them. They're a large growth firm, And it was very interesting hearing the feedback and seeing them and their site visits, seeing their management practice, seeing their team, actually seeing the place where the sausage is made. And it was very impressive, and it gave us good insights into what they're doing and what they're looking forward to doing in the future. We also heard, dropped into there with some speakers at breakfast and the luncheon. The evening speaker one evening was James Comey, the former FBI director. So it was interesting to hear his comments on what was currently going on in the political career. Also, the thing I thought was most interesting was hearing from Janet Yellen, the former chairman of the Federal Reserve. She was chairman over the Federal Reserve that prior to the crash and post-crash, and it was good to hear her insights about what was going on. And interesting, she said that we may be slipping back to our old ways with the marketplace and our investment and being a little bit more reckless with our investments and not maybe repeating some of the same mistakes that led us to the crash in 2009, 10, 11. And we all know what happened there. So it was interesting to hear her insights on that. We also heard from, as for levity's sake, Jeffrey Katzenberg. Some of you may know him. He's an executive mogul from Hollywood, was executive director and producer for Paramount and Disney and DreamWorks, and giving his views on his career and what was happening in the film industry, and that was interesting levity for lunch one afternoon. But the main day was Wednesday, hearing to those 30 investment managers, hearing their talks, and it was really an informal setting. It was basically a panel discussion led by a person and the main fund manager from Entrust. But it was really very insightful. It gave us a lot of insight on what we're doing. And some of those managers were part of our funds that we've invested with. Others were not. But it gave them basically, the takeaway, the interest rates are going to remain the same. That's really not any news to anybody following the market. Interest rates are going to remain flat after talk of them going up previous in the start of the first of the year. They're going to remain flat, and it's going to help our economy continue to be robust. And there's no clouds on the horizon necessarily overall for the economy. And but like everything goes up, comes down eventually. But the next 12 months looks pretty good. Wednesday evening, we went out and I proposed to Lisa Damon, and she accepted my proposal. So we're engaged to be married to Lisa, and many of you have met her. Yeah. So that was also successful, and hopefully that'll be an investment that will yield dividends going forward. She's investing in some junk bonds, and hopefully it'll pay off for her.
She could turn them into some real capital.
Exactly. So it was very good. It was a very productive trip. It was really a busy couple of days, but well worth it. So I wanted to provide that information to the board, and
great.
Stay tuned for further information.
Great. Thanks, Don. And I was going to congratulate you on that, so glad you brought it up. Any other commissioners with new business? I will tell you, since just to let everybody, some of the new commissioners know that every year after election of the executive, the new executive, he has 90 days to submit an organizational plan. And it has to happen every 4 years. And we are, in the last month, it is due to us on March 30th. So just so you know, we expect an organizational plan to come, and then there's time frames we have to look at it and do different things with it. So for the new commissioners, we should be expecting that sometime this month. Other than that, I see no new business, no more new business. Public participation. Any members of the public wishing to speak? Any members of the public wishing to speak? See no, we'll close public participation. Anybody wishing to adjourn? Anybody? Commissioner Hall, supported by Commissioner Leonetti.
That's my jack.
Please vote.
Rob, how's your beard?
Meeting adjourned.
Rob, are you from Roseville?